The air crackled with anticipation. The energy in Madison Square Garden was palpable, a living, breathing entity that seemed to feed off the collective excitement of the fans. Every seat was filled, and the roar of the crowd was deafening. It was as if the very walls of the arena were vibrating with the intensity of the moment. It was Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, a pivotal moment in the series that could either extend the Celtics' season or bring it to a crushing end. The scoreboard displayed the gravity of the situation, and the players on the court were acutely aware of what was at stake. Warm-ups were more intense, every shot and pass scrutinized by coaches and fans alike. And the Boston Celtics were on the brink. The team huddled together, their faces a mix of determination and anxiety. The coach's pep talk was more than just words. It was a rallying cry, a call to arms for a team that had its back against the wall. Each player knew that this game could define their season, and perhaps their careers. Facing a 3-2 deficit against their arch-rivals, the New York Knicks, the Celtics were in a precarious position. The rivalry between these two teams was legendary, filled with historic battles and unforgettable moments. Tonight, another chapter was about to be written. The Knicks, sensing blood in the water, were relentless, driving to the basket with ferocity and guarding every inch of the court. The Celtics knew this was a must-win. The players on the bench watched with bated breath, their eyes never leaving the court. Fans held up signs that read, "Must win," a sentiment that echoed throughout the arena. Every play, every pass, every shot was crucial. There was no room for error, no margin for mistakes. The Celtics had to be perfect. The ghosts of playoffs past hung heavy in the air at Madison Square Garden. This was a place where legends were made and dreams were shattered. The rafters were adorned with championship banners, each one a testament to the battles fought and won on this hallowed ground. The Celtics were not just playing against the Knicks, they were playing against history. The Celtics had fought their way to the NBA Finals just last year. It was a season filled with triumphs and challenges, a journey that had tested their mettle and forged their resolve. The memories of that run were still fresh, the taste of victory still sweet. But this year was different. The road was harder, the obstacles greater. They were the reigning Eastern Conference champions. That title came with its own set of pressures and expectations. The target on their backs was bigger, the scrutiny more intense. Every team they faced brought their A-game, eager to dethrone the champions. The Celtics had to be better, stronger, more resilient, but this year, fate seemed to have other plans. The season had been a roller coaster of highs and lows, moments of brilliance overshadowed by bouts of inconsistency. The scoreboard told a grim story, and the dejected looks on the players' faces mirrored the frustration of their fans. The Knicks' celebrations were a stark contrast, a painful reminder of how quickly fortunes could change. The weight of expectation pressed down on their shoulders. The tension was palpable, every player feeling the immense pressure to perform. The coach, usually a pillar of calm, looked visibly stressed. In slow motion, a player wiped sweat from his brow, a small but telling sign of the physical and emotional toll this game was taking. This was more than just a game. It was a battle for survival, a test of will and determination. The Celtics were already without their star player, Jayson Tatum. The team had been riding high on his stellar performances throughout the season, and his absence was a blow that reverberated through the entire organization. Fans, coaches, and players alike felt the weight of his injury. It wasn't just about losing a player, it was about losing a leader, a beacon of hope, and a symbol of their championship aspirations. A torn Achilles in Game 4 had cruelly cut short his season. The moment was a nightmare come to life for the Celtics. Tatum had been their go-to guy in clutch moments, the player who could turn the tide of a game with a single play. His injury was not just a physical setback but an emotional one as well. The team had to regroup and find a way to move forward without their star. The image of Tatum crumpling to the floor, clutching his ankle, was seared into the minds of Celtics fans everywhere. It was a moment that would be replayed over and over, a stark reminder of the fragility of even the most promising seasons. The fans' collective gasp, the silence that fell over the arena, and the sight of Tatum being helped off the court were scenes that no one would forget. Without Tatum, the Celtics were a ship without a rudder. The team had to find a new identity, a new way to win. The coaching staff worked tirelessly to adjust strategies, while the players had to step up and fill the void left by their fallen leader. It was a test of their resilience, their ability to adapt, and their will to fight through adversity. Jaylen Brown, Tatum's running mate and a four-time All-Star in his own right, was thrust into the spotlight. Brown had always been a key player for the Celtics, but now he had to take on an even greater role. The expectations were sky-high, and the pressure was palpable. Every game, every play, every decision he made was scrutinized. He had to be the leader, the scorer, and the defender all at once. He carried the hopes of a city on his shoulders. The pressure was immense. Brown knew that the fans were looking to him to keep their championship dreams alive. He embraced the challenge, knowing that this was his moment to shine. The weight of hope was heavy, but it was also a source of motivation. Brown played with a fire and determination that inspired his teammates and gave the fans a reason to believe. The journey was far from over, and the Celtics were ready to fight for every inch. Brown fought valiantly. He attacked the basket with ferocity. His jump shot, though not always falling, kept the Knicks' defense honest. But it was clear that the weight of the world was on his shoulders. The Knicks, sensing Brown's desperation, were relentless. They double-teamed him, harassed him, and made every possession a battle. The officials, it seemed, were letting them play. Then it happened. With 1:49 left in the third quarter, Brown drove to the basket. A whistle pierced the air. Foul on Brown, his sixth. The crowd at Madison Square Garden erupted. Brown was incredulous. He pleaded his case to the referee, but it was no use. His night was over. The Celtics were down by 41 points. The roar of the crowd was deafening. It was a primal scream of release, a collective exhale of 25 years of frustration. For the first time since 1999, the Knicks were on the verge of reaching the Eastern Conference Finals. Celebrities like Lenny Kravitz and Timothée Chalamet, seated courtside, were caught up in the frenzy. The energy in the building was palpable. Section 6, Knicks take control. The Knicks, smelling blood in the water, went for the kill. R.J. Barrett, playing with the swagger of a young star, couldn't miss. Jalen Brunson, the Knicks' steely-eyed point guard, controlled the game with his pace and precision. The Celtics, demoralized and defeated, offered little resistance. The game, it was clear, was over. Section 7, A City's Resurgence. The Knicks' victory was more than just a win. It was a symbol of the city's resurgence. New York, battered by the pandemic and economic uncertainty, needed something to cheer about. The Knicks, once a laughingstock of the league, were now a team on a mission. They had a young, hungry core, a coach in Tom Thibodeau who preached defense and accountability, and a city united behind them. Section 8, Echoes of Glory. For Knicks fans of a certain age, the victory evoked memories of a bygone era. The days of Patrick Ewing, John Starks, and the 1994 NBA Finals. That team, like this one, had grit, determination, and a will to win that resonated with the city's blue-collar soul. The Knicks, for so long lost in the wilderness, had finally found their way back. Section 9, The Road Ahead. The Celtics, meanwhile, were left to pick up the pieces. The locker room was a scene of quiet reflection, a stark contrast to the roaring crowd just moments before. Players sat on the bench, heads hung low, contemplating what went wrong and how they could have changed the outcome. The air was thick with disappointment, but also a sense of determination to come back stronger. The loss was a bitter pill to swallow. Jaylen Brown, one of the team's key players, wore his frustration openly. The crowd, too, was in disbelief, their hopes dashed in the final moments of the game. It was a hard-fought battle, and the sting of defeat was palpable. They had entered the season with championship aspirations, fueled by rigorous preseason training and a strong team huddle that showcased their unity and resolve. The Celtics were a team with a mission, and every player knew their role in the grand scheme of things. But injuries and inconsistencies had derailed their campaign. Key players found themselves sidelined, receiving medical attention, while others struggled to fill the gaps. The season was a roller coaster of highs and lows, with moments of brilliance overshadowed by periods of struggle. But amidst the disappointment, there was a glimmer of hope. The fans, ever loyal, continued to cheer, and the players found solace in small victories, high-fiving each other after a well-executed play. These moments, though fleeting, were a reminder of the potential that still lay within the team. Tatum would be back next season, fully recovered and ready to lead. His presence on the court was a beacon of hope, a promise of better days ahead. Tatum's dedication to his craft was evident in every practice session, and his confidence was contagious. The Celtics, with their core intact, were still a force to be reckoned with. Celebrations after a win and strategic discussions during timeouts highlighted the team's resilience and tactical acumen. They knew that with the right mindset and preparation, they could overcome any obstacle. The future, while uncertain, was not without promise. The fans remained hopeful, and the players, walking out of the tunnel onto the court, carried the weight of those expectations. Each game was a new opportunity to prove themselves, to rewrite the narrative of their season. The Knicks' victory was a statement. It was a testament to their hard work and determination, a clear message to the rest of the league that they were a team to be taken seriously. The celebrations on the court and the reactions from the bench were a reflection of their collective effort and spirit. The Celtics' defeat was a setback, but it was also a learning experience, a chance to regroup and come back stronger. As the players walked off the court, the scoreboard showing the final score, they knew that this was just one chapter in a much larger story. But in the grand tapestry of the NBA season, it was just one chapter. The arena, filled with the energy of countless games and unforgettable moments, was a reminder of the journey that every team undertakes. Each highlight reel, each key play, was a testament to the passion and dedication that defines the sport. The story, as always, continues. The NBA is a league of endless possibilities, where every game is a new opportunity, and every season brings fresh challenges and triumphs. The fans leaving the stadium carried with them the memories of the season and the hope for what lies ahead. The road ahead is long, but it is also filled with promise and potential.